Men love to act confused when their women leave the relationships. Well, I did everything she asked me to do. So I'm going to break down why she leaves today using employment as an example. So we've all seen those horrible threads where employees are asking for basic respect and management is trying to run over them. In this particular case, this man has already put in for his paid time off. He's doing himself, and one of the coworkers has an emergency, and his boss is telling him, hey, you have to come in immediately, tomorrow to cover her shift. No ask, no please and thank you, no nothing. And of course, the guy says no. The employee very gently continues to ask, and you can just read the thread I'm going to put up here, but it ends with the employer continuing to say no, denying paid time off, which is this man's right. So finally he says, don't even worry about it. I quit. And here you can pause to read as necessary. Boss acts like he's doing him a favor by asking him to come in again after he said no. Boss goes for the low blow, threatens to fire this man if he won't come in and do something that's essentially not his job. Finally, the employee, feeling disrespected, takes it there and says, I quit. All of a sudden, boss is backpedaling like crazy. He says, don't even worry about it. Take your time off. You're a huge part of our company. You can't leave like this. We're going to make it up to you. We're going to find someone to cover the shift. We'll accommodate you now. And of course, in the end, the employee still quits. And men and the employers are asking the same thing. I gave you what you wanted. Why are you still leaving me? And the answer is you didn't give what we wanted. What we want is respect. In the case of employees, it's almost never about the money, the paid time off, or the whatever. It's the way the employer is speaking to them. In the end, the employer wants to come up with a solution, not because they care about the employee, but because they really can't function without them. And the employee knows that you are willing to treat them as expendable. And the thing is, you always needed them. So you could have been kind before, but when you thought there was no consequence for being a jerk, you were going to treat them like trash. And I say, I don't want to work for someone like that. I don't want to work for someone who feels entitled to my labor, who's going to try to take away things that legally belong to me, but at the same time, is not going to respect my work, although they need it. And it's the same thing with women. It wasn't about you not doing the dishes, not doing anything with your kids or whatever. That was a factor, but the real issue was how you were dealing with it. When your wife was doing the lion's share of everything, you refused to pitch in because you claimed you didn't have enough time or it was women's work or whatever your facile excuse was. She told you, this makes me feel really disrespected. I want a partner. You say that we're a team, that, you love me, but you're mistreating and disrespecting me, and you don't treat someone you love like that. So in the end, when you started doing the chores, it was too late because of how you treated her when you weren't stepping up. Every time you put someone else's feelings above her, every time you belittled her feelings about being overwhelmed, you told her that she wasn't as important as you getting an ego stroke. She wasn't important enough to be treated as an actual member of the team. So then when she said, I'm quitting the team, she knows you didn't step up because you cared about her. You stepped up because of the consequences to you. These managers or employers step in and say, oh, I don't want to lose money. I don't have the, ability to close down for a day. So I'm going to give you what you want. Not you're so valuable. Not I care about you. Not I'm sorry I mistreated you. A lot of guys figure out that it's cheaper to keep her, or that they're going to have to do 50% of everything rather than 10 or 20% of just their share of things when they have, split custody, and they're finally going to have to be an active participant with their children, and they don't want that. So they pretend to make things up. Oh, well, yeah, no, I'm willing to do my 20% now. It's too late. Because she realized it was never the weight of the amount of stuff she had to do. It was the weight of the disrespect, the weight of the inequality that was making the relationship unbearable. And that's why when women leave, and even if they're on paper responsible for more, the very idea that they're not sitting around waiting, that they're not, having promises broken to them, that they're not being treated as a nuisance when they say something needs to be done, that they're not counting on someone who's never going to come through, that they're not having someone around who creates more work, that makes their situation so much better. So even though they're now doing 100% of everything in their new home, it is still less than them doing 70% of things in their old home. Like and follow for more.